In this video, I want to talk about inkle weaving. Now this is an Inkle Loom, which I have 3 large looms. These are about 2.5, maybe 3 feet long. They're very well made. A commercial loom that's similar is made by Schott, S-C-H-A-H-T, I believe is how they spell it. There are people that make these. I bought these all 3 of mine from a man named Frank, who I don't think makes them anymore, but he used to make these himself, and I like them because of the tension system he has is very nice and adjustable, and he put 4-inch pegs on them, nice big strong pegs, so that I can go wide if I want. Now there are 2 very good Inkle books. Inkle Loom Weaving by Nina Holland. Both of these are vintage. And Inkle Weaving by Helene Bress. Now, here are some of the things that you can make with an Inkle Loom. Your fabric ends up as wide as you make it. You use string heddles. It's very easy to warp this loom. And what this is, though, is a warp-faced fabric, which means whatever you use as the warp is what you actually see, and these little bumps that you see are the weft. So your weft is going inside the weaving, and that makes it different from a flat, plain weave. And like for fabric, it makes it bumpy. Now this is how I make leashes, belts, bands. There are many common uses for them. But here is a picture of how you can sew them together to make fabric. This is a table runner done in acrylic. And both of these books talk about how to make these designs. And they're called pickups, learning how to do pickups on an Inkle Loom to make a design. And in a way, what you're doing is you're taking the idea of drawing or painting and you're doing it right with the textile. And some of the examples are beautiful, and Inkle weaving has been around for a long, long time. And you can make tapestries. Both books are very good for learning everything. The Bress book has a very good, easy way for warping. Now this is a floor model, which is also called a band loom, and they still make them this big. And one example of indigenous people using bands, in Mongolia, people live in tents, and they decorate their tents with the different bands and designs of, kind of like Native American paintings, only they do it in bands, and the bands go on their tent. There'll be all different kinds of tensioning things. So this is similar to what I have, except the way he did it. See that nice big heavy bolt and nice big handle? If your Inkle Loom is going to wear out, it's going to be that your tensioner gives out. Some of them have one of these as a paddle, and you actually move the paddle either wider or narrower to tighten the tension. So look at the different designs, but keep in mind, here's an advantage. This loom consistently weaves 6 feet long. So like in my bedrolls, if I need, which I do need 6-foot long bands for each side of the bedroll, I know that I'm always going to get a 6-foot long piece of fabric. There's very little waste. It depends on how close to the edge you weave. You can always consistently leave 2 inches at the end. And that's the only waste, would be the 2 inches on either end. So they're different from rigid heddle looms. Very easy to warp, very easy to use, lots of creativity available. I have used both wool or cotton. I'm trying to think, even alpaca I've used, hand spun. for the warp, if you break a warp thread, you can just rethread it, tie a knot, and work around the knot. And you can even sometimes pull the knot into the weaving and hide it that way. So it's a very easy loom to use. And if you like to weave, this weighs about maybe 8 or 9 pounds. Very easy to kind of carry around with you anywhere. There are a few people that make small ones, but those are basically for narrow bands. So if you're going to look at these, I would look at one that's about 2.5 feet long if you think you're going to be using this consistently. When they're smaller, they're not going to be as strong, and they're going to be for more lightweight work. But it's a wonderful way of weaving.